Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that I feel is really important when publishing and being an author. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of this video for a huge announcement. Well, I think it's huge, but you might be like, that's not huge. That's just like, an announcement. Whatever. Just stay tuned. I'm super excited. I had something happen to me fairly recently. It happened a few days ago that I would really like to share with you guys. Without going into any specifics, I was given a book for free by an author and asked to give an honest review. I was really excited because I love to read, and it was the first time that anyone had asked me to read their book and give a review, so I was really excited. So I read the book, I gave my review. A few days later, this author commented on my review, and basically in this comment told me my review was wrong and proceeded to explain everything that I had brought up in my review. Basically, they tried to change my mind, I feel, about the review that I gave. And it wasn't a great review, but I really focused on being constructive, and I did make it a point to highlight the things that I did enjoy about the novel. And basically what that did was it completely turned me off to the author, period. The irony is that had this not happened, I did enjoy the writing style enough to where whenever they write another book, apart from this particular story that I had read, I would probably have picked it up and given them another chance to see if maybe I liked a different story of theirs. But this experience completely turned me off to them. And it just got me to thinking about how important it is to not isolate readers. So I decided to do this video because I wanted to turn this into something positive. I think it's a really important thing to keep in mind when you publish a novel. You never want to isolate your readers. It is a huge step to publish your novel. Whether you go the traditional publishing route or the self-publishing route, you're still essentially sending your book baby out into the world for people to read and either enjoy or criticize, or both. So this video is basically going to be about how to not isolate readers after your book has been published and after people start leaving reviews on Amazon or Goodreads. So is it a good idea to read your own reviews? It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, reading good reviews can be uplifting, it can really make you feel great, it can brighten your day, it can motivate you to continue writing. And reading negative reviews could give you some ideas as to where you can improve and where you can grow in any of your next projects. On the flip side, reading a negative review could possibly put you into a funk and make you weary about publishing your next book. Now, I just want to make this clear. There is a huge difference between constructive criticism and someone just being a dick. Constructive criticism actually helps you grow. It highlights your flaws, but in a respectful manner where you could learn from it, not just put you down for the sake of putting you down. Ideally, good constructive criticism will consist of three major parts: what the reader found wrong in their opinion, why they found it wrong, and suggestions that you can then carry forward into your next novel. Whether you decide to read reviews or not, some people never read their reviews, others like to read their reviews. I would imagine that when I personally publish my novel and start to get reviews, that I will probably read at least some of them. But regardless, whether you read reviews or not, the last thing any author wants to do is to isolate any of their readers. The best way to avoid potentially isolating a reader or even a future reader is to simply not engage. Do not engage. But if you must engage, here are 5 ways to not isolate a reader. Number 1, do not respond right away. If you decide to answer right away, you may sound abrasive or defensive because you've just read this review and had an emotional reaction to it. Instead, take some time away, gather your thoughts, and really try to assess as to whether this was a review that was constructive or if this was just someone being a douche. Number 2, do not attempt to invalidate that person's opinion by saying that they are wrong, that they didn't get it, or insinuating that they never gave the story a chance. Try to remember that you're not always going to get positive reviews. Not everyone will like your novel. Focus on the reviews that were positive. Focus on the people that did enjoy your novel. Take constructive criticism as you see fit. Number 3, do not try and explain away your novel in order to change that person's mind. You cannot change a person's mind for them. That's just not the way life is. You can't change someone's opinion by explaining to them why their current opinion is completely false or insisting that they just don't see the greater picture. Think of a person who eats a steak at a restaurant. They like steak, but they didn't like this particular steak. Maybe it was the cut, maybe it was the seasoning, whatever it was. If they come back another time to that restaurant, they're likely not going to order that same steak because they did not enjoy that steak the first time they came. They might order something else and love it. Basically, what I'm trying to get across with this analogy is that just because someone doesn't like your first book doesn't necessarily mean that they won't like a different book that you write in the future. So if you try to change their mind about that first book, they might feel very turned off by that and not even want to bother reading another one of your books, because what if they don't like that one either? Number 4, if the book in question was the first book in a series, do not ask them to continue reading the series, because that's where everything from the first novel is explained. First of all, and I could make an entire video on this, but every single novel needs to be able to stand on its own, especially in a series. Think of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Would that book have been still a great book had there not been 6 more to follow it? Yes. Why? Because the main plot point in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was resolved, while leaving the broader plot point, aka the Voldemort situation, still open and unresolved, so that it could continue into the rest of the series. But the main plot of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was resolved. It left you feeling satisfied. If a first book in a series doesn't leave your readers satisfied, why would they pick up the second book? That's like going to see a movie, not enjoying the movie, feeling like you wasted your time, and then being asked to go see the sequel. Why would you go and see the sequel if you didn't enjoy the first film? It's so important. Again, I could do an entire video on this, but it is very important for a novel to be able to stand on its own if it needed to. Apart from that, a person's time is extremely valuable, and you always want to be an author that respects their reader's time, because a person's time is very valuable. They took time out of their lives, out of their schedule, to read your book and give you their honest feedback. You need to be grateful for that, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't appreciate being asked to spend more time on something that you didn't enjoy in the first place. Not just that, but your readers have zero obligation to you. Zero obligation. As writers, our readers have zero obligation to us, and we have every obligation to them. You need to respect a person's time, and moreover, you need to respect a person's opinion. And finally, number 5, again, if you must engage, do not engage publicly. If there's another way that you can contact that person, whether by email or a private message, absolutely do that over commenting in a public forum. The reason being that engaging and responding in a public setting not only risks isolating that particular reader, but also future readers who may stumble upon that review. Some readers check out reviews before they read the book. I am one of those readers. I don't read every single review, but I do like to go through. I'll read the positive reviews and see what people liked about it. I'll even read the negative reviews and see what people didn't like about it. And more often than not, I have read negative reviews and then read the book and completely disagreed with the negative reviews. But if a future reader sees that you engaged with a prior reader that gave a negative review and did so doing any of those things that I talked about before, there's a chance that they will be put off by it and they may not want to read your book, especially because there are literally hundreds of other options out there. So why would you want to run the risk of isolating not just the one reader that left the review, but possibly future readers? The best and most effective way to avoid all of this is to simply period, not period, engage, period, ever, period, full stop. As an author, you want your novel to end up in as many readers' hands as possible. Whether someone enjoys or doesn't enjoy your story is completely out of your control, assuming that you took all the right steps to make your novel the best that it could possibly be before publishing. What is 100% in your control is how you choose to react to criticism. Look, nobody likes getting negative reviews. Nobody. Even the most successful authors have probably gotten some negative reviews in their time. You are not the first person to get a bad review, and you will certainly not be the last. So, as difficult as it is to not take it as a personal attack, try not to take it as a personal attack. And remember that you published a novel. That's a huge accomplishment and a brave thing that should be celebrated. And that's it, guys. Those are my 5 ways to not isolate your readers. So now for the exciting announcement, I will be very soon launching my author Facebook page. It's not happening quite yet, but I am gearing it up. I'm kind of putting it together, trying to make it look cool and, getting some content on there so that there's stuff on there at least for, anybody who checks it out or stumbles upon it. So I will be sure to let you guys know when it goes live. I am super pumped, super pumped. Also want to say NaNoWriMo is beginning now. Oh my gosh, today. Shit. This is my first year participating in NaNoWriMo and I am so excited. I can hardly contain myself. I'm gonna leave my profile down below. I think that's how you add a friend. So go ahead and add me on NaNoWriMo if you're doing it this year. I'm super excited. Also, I finished the first draft of my novel, so pretty much I'm going to be using NaNoWriMo to go through the editing phase, getting ready for beta readers. Like my heart is about to leap from my throat. I have never been so excited in my entire living life, I just have to say. If you like the content today, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button on your way out. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments below, or you can tweet me at the Amanda Wilmot. Have an amazing rest of your week. Have a great day. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out because I talk about really fun things on here, and I will see you guys next time.